Chris Winslow is the supervisor for the Clover Hill District, the vice chair of the Chesterfield Board of Supervisors, and he's with us this morning to talk about the arrival of students back in schools in Chesterfield County. How many kids are we talking about, Chris?
Good morning, John.
Good morning.
Thank you for having me. We have about 13,500 or so students returning in the secondary schools today, and so that would be middle and high school. And then, of course, we've had our elementary students back for about a month now.
Mm-hmm. You think everything goes okay today, or is there a ramp up just like any first day of school where the bus drivers are figuring things out? Or maybe I'm making some assumptions. How is that working this morning?
I think to the school board's credit, they've been working very hard with county risk management to prepare for today and to prepare and make certain that there is appropriate mitigation in place. And as you know, and I know as your listeners know, we've been working all year toward this effort. And, I think a lot of that has been with knocking down some of these items like, getting everyone vaccinated. And so today's really a positive news story for us because about 92% of our staff and teaching population in Chesterfield has been fully vaccinated as of today's date. We have a few holdouts, but we are working through that last group, and we expect to be at or near 100% within a couple weeks.
What's the classroom environment for, say, a ninth grader when they get back today?
John, my understanding is that they will go back as they ordinarily would. They would be wearing a mask. They will be asked to maintain 6 feet where they can and distancing requirements, understanding that from a mitigation standpoint, 6 feet may not always be possible. That is the goal. And so I think the individual staff members and teachers and as well as the principals will be coordinating to make certain that they are mitigating in those fashions. And they've also asked that they wear face shields as well. So there will be that additional element in the classroom.
You think that's going to work? I mean, I remember I wasn't in Chesterfield. My father was a principal at Robius Middle School in Chesterfield, and I spent a lot of snow days over there as a kid when he had to work. And at Byrd Middle School, when in Henrico, I swear to God, I've been on streets in New Delhi, India, that were calmer than some of the hallways at Byrd Middle School way back when. Are these, are the kids going to listen, or, I mean, how do you maintain that kind of discipline with 1,000 young people running all over the place and the old standard?
I think it's a fair point, but our administration and our staff are going to be providing this guidance probably routinely as it starts out. But we are dealing with middle and high school students. I do think that there is a great opportunity to make this work and to educate on mitigation and why it's important. I think often with my children, I know if I go into the why, that sometimes hits home a little better than just barking orders.
But let me ask you about the testing aspect of this. Are there routine tests that are going to happen for staff and students, or are we just kind of letting this ride at this stage? And if somebody really presents with symptoms, then we'll respond to that circumstance.
John, we as a county government have been working with the local health district, the Chesterfield Health District, which comprises both Powhatan, Colonial Heights, as well as Chesterfield. We've been coordinating in the county asymptomatic testing for teachers for some time, and that effort will continue. Despite even the positive guidance that came out yesterday from CDC regarding fully vaccinated people. So, we're going to continue the regimen. We're going to continue to follow these rules, hopefully until the end, which hopefully is not too far off now.
Yeah.
We can start to see a light at the end of the tunnel, and I think that there's some good positivity being generated. As a county government, we've been somewhat limited, and I think felt the frustration that many localities have felt. But we have also taken the attitude that we're going to be positive and try to be a convener of resources. And so immediately moving teachers and staff to the front of the vaccination line was important for us. And getting kids back to school was important for us. Last summer and fall, quite a few capital improvements in the way of HVAC system replacements went through. That was part of all of this. For folks who registered and didn't know they had registered, we had our IT department work with the health district to confirm registrations. And so we're really looking at this from a 360-degree effort with our schools and with our population, because we know that every week that goes by, we're chipping away at this vaccination iceberg.
How have the teachers responded to this? Have you had some teachers who've said, I'm just not coming back, I'd rather quit the job, not be there? I mean, I can think of some of my teachers who were in their 60s who might have a legitimate reason for being concerned, and then some who were in their 30s who might have wanted to, get to Cabo for an extra week in the wintertime. How have you dealt with that? Or has that been an issue?
I think that there certainly have been some folks who earlier in the school year, and earlier I should say in the pandemic year, let's call it March to March, who kind of made that decision, perhaps to retire maybe a year or two earlier than they otherwise would have, just because the nature of teaching had changed so much. This sort of national experiment with virtual education, if you will. So I think those sorts of decisions have been made by now, but we're with our teaching population now seeing a great level of comfort and normalcy starting to return.
Well, that's some good news. Congratulations on, flipping the switch and getting things back to normal as best we can. I think that's probably a wise decision on a lot of different levels, most importantly for the future of this generation of young people who need to get back into the class and buckle down on their studies. So I appreciate that Chesterfield is helping to lead the way. Chris Winslow, who's the vice chair of the Chesterfield Board of Supervisors. We'll check back in maybe in a week or so and see how things are going.
That would be fantastic.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it.